Hi, my name is Jeremy, this is Ready Recording, and this is the Novation Circuit. It's a groovebox, it has 2 synth parts, it has 4 drum parts, and the ability to hold a bunch of sessions in it. It's fun, and I just released my second pack for it. If you want to know what the pack sounds like, head on over to the video that's linked up here, and go watch the performances. It's part of the download for the pack, which is fun. Yeah, so let's talk about how to get the pack into the circuit, and then I want to talk a little bit about the Init Patch that I made, and just sort of give you an overview of how to get it on here, because I think with my last patch, a lot of people were confused, and I don't want people to be confused. I want people to be happy. So, I've tried to record this video 3 times, so if I'm talking a little fast, I'm sorry, I just want to get it done. New computers, they're supposed to be good, but they're not. All right, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that your circuit is powered on and connected to your computer via USB. Then you want to go over to your computer and either go to components.novation.com or download the standalone components and use that. So we're using the standalone components. You can see that my circuit is connected up here. If your circuit is not connected, you can either click this button and connect it, or you can reboot the circuit holding down scales, note, and velocity while you turn it back on, and it will connect. We'll go back to here. We're going to hit circuit. This is the splash screen. It's going to look like this. So we know our circuit's connected. We are logged into our Novation account. I suggest you do this because that will allow you to save anything you do into the cloud. And the fact that you have that option is really cool. All your stuff is available wherever. I like to make drum kits and stuff like that, like sometimes when I'm at work with some downtime, etc., etc. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit browser. We're going to go to open pack, and we're going to go to where my pack is. For me, that is over here in my circuit thing. And we're going to look for the .circuit pack file for the RMR circuit packet 2. And it's in pack. There it is. Hey, look at that, friend. Hit open pack. Stupendous. So this is what it should look like if it's open properly. You have 19 sessions that I've created. These are blank down here. You can see the red ones. Your samples should look something like this with this much remaining down here. Your patches should look like this. See these named patches? See that there's some space down here at the bottom. There are 48 synth patches plus the mapped init patch, and there's some room down here for you to put your own patches if you want. So now that we have this loaded up, the first thing I would do is hit save, and I would hit save as, and I would name it, and I would hit done. And what that would do is, since you're logged in, would save it to your cloud account so you can access this anywhere, which is really nice. Now we want to hit send to circuit. We can send patches, samples, or sessions individually. So if that's something you want to do, each section here will have its own individual send thing, which is useful. But in this case, you just want to hit send pack. So I'm going to hit send pack, and we're going to wait for it to finish completely. All right, we sent the pack. It's here. So now we have to disconnect the circuit. You can either do that by powering it on and off, or you can go up here. I think you can disconnect it up here. No, you can't. So let's power off the circuit and power it back on. Wonderful. Now, if you go to sessions, you'll see the sessions. You will have a bunch of synth presets. And you will have a bunch of drum samples. Wonderful. Okay, so now at this point, you could pick a blank section and go to town. I already showed that you can send individual samples and sessions over, and now I want to show you how to use the Init Patch that I made. In case you don't know how the circuit works, it does have a full synth engine in it. It's very cool. I think it's based on the Supernova synth engine, which is pretty nice. These 8 macros can be mapped to anything. So these are your controls over here. You don't have access to the full control over the synth engine. So what you put on these is what's going to change how you are able to perform on the circuit. I like to keep these kind of the same. So we'll go over this real quick. Let me open up the editor and I'll show you on both screens what we're doing. If we go back over to components, we go to editor and we get the synth editor. Here's the 2 synths. You can see that I'm connected to the circuit. That's great. You will have to disconnect the circuit from the librarian mode to use the editor, so keep that in mind. As I go through my presets over here, take a look at the lower left-hand corner here. You can see that it's changing the preset in the editor. Pretty cool, right? All right, so let's just show this one real quick. Here's my default mapping for everything in the macros. Knob 1 is going to be just straight up cutoff for the filter. Knob 2 is going to be how much the envelope 2 affects the cutoff. So you can change the sharpness of the envelope that way. Mod 3 here is going to be the decay and release of both the amp and the filter envelope, which is useful for making sounds longer, both in filter and amp. Mod 4 is going to be the detune. Mod 5 is generally going to be VSync. Sort of a wave folder, gives you some cool harmonics and distortion. You can really change the sound that way. Mod 6 is generally going to be noise. In this case, it's not. It's the pulse width index of the synth. Usually I have noise there, but these two will be oscillator effects either way. 7 can either be the feedback of the chorus right here, or in many cases, distortion. This is going to be the feedback of the effect. It's going to be distortion, or it's going to be portamento. And then finally, 8 is the chorus level, which could be either a chorus or a phaser. So altogether, you're going to get a lot of control over the sound to really build up and break down and even sometimes change the timbre of it completely. But that's how I decided to do it. And you're welcome to make your own presets and decide. But I wanted to let you know what my mapping is. This is also in the instructions for the pack, so if you don't remember it from the video, you can check it out there. So let me show you this Init Patch that I made. If I go up to Browser here and go into this little pancake stack, I can either open it from my cloud thing where I've saved it, or I can open patch and load it from the pack. So let's go into the pack, go into individual presets, and you can see right at the top the init mapped patch. The first thing I would do after loading the init mapped patch is go to save to patch pool, and that will save the init patch to your patch pool so that you can continually go back to it using the little pancake stack here. It's going to be down here for me. So that way, every time you start a new sound, like I did when I was making these, I would start with this init mapped patch. It follows the same macro controls that I showed you here. So first, it's going to be mapped to cutoff. Second, it's going to be mapped to the envelope depth for the cutoff. Decay release. This is going to default to density detune. This is going to default to VSync, or I would change this to pulse wave index, actually, because those are the most useful. So this is going to be your main oscillator effects section. This does not come with these mapped to depth, so you're going to want to turn these up if you want to mess with this stuff, and you're going to find the sweet spot for your sound. It's going to depend on what you like. 6 is default map to noise. Adjust the depth to taste. 7 is chorus feedback or phaser feedback, and 8 is going to be the level of the chorus. Again, 7 could be distortion, portamento, or the feedback. And these will be oscillator effects sometimes. And then sometimes 4 will be like an LFO control if I don't want to detune it. But for the most part, this is the mapping. Let's say you made a sound and you want to now save this sound and not overwrite that init map patch. Save to patch pool. Give it a new name. Badonk. Set done. And now you will have your patch in the cloud to get a hold of anytime you want. Where'd it go? Where's my badonk? There it is. Badonk. So I can load that up. I could also send it to the circuit if I want to. I could pick a patch, like this is an empty one down here. And yeah, so that's it. That's how to use the init map patch. You can also save it to your PC if you want to save individual patches like I did with these. So that's the sort of technical walkthrough of my Novation Circuit pack that is out now. So thanks for joining me walking through this. If you want to get this pack, right now it is pay what you want. The coronavirus stuff is really hitting everyone hard in different ways, and I wanted to make this available to you to, have some creative output in these weird-ass times. It will be pay what you want until we are through this, and we're all getting through it together, so I hope you are staying healthy and happy and sane. give your circuit some love, and just do whatever you need to get through this right now. It's weird as hell, to say the least. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay sane, and I love you all. Be well.